How to stop caring and let go. 7 Stoic lessons. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in the digital age, bombarded by expectations, and just plain overwhelmed? Like you're caring way too much about stuff that doesn't even matter? You're scrolling through social media, sighing at the pressures, wishing you could just let things go, or simply care a tad bit less about every little thing. Well, guess what? You've stumbled upon something awesome. This isn't about some clickbait trend or the latest viral video or meme. It's about tapping into ancient wisdom, the kind of wisdom that can actually help you chill out and navigate this crazy world with a little more grace. Long before our modern-day challenges, some brilliant chaps, known as the Stoics, lived their lives based on principles that, believe it or not, can teach us how to master the art of not giving too much care. We're talking Stoicism, baby. Think of it as your mental chill pill, a way to dial down the drama and crank up the contentment. Ironic, isn't it, that ancient wisdom can guide our smartphone-filled, caffeine-driven lives? And stick around, hit that notification bell, subscribe, because what you are about to learn will change your life. In the next bit of your time, you're going to discover 10 simple yet profoundly transformative Stoic principles. Principles so refreshing they might just be the antidote to the chaos that is 21st century life. What's the worst that could happen? You gain some wisdom. Welcome to the enlightening world of Stoicism, where old meets new and where we get schooled in the art of keeping calm and carrying on. So, get ready to dive headfirst into 10 super simple, yet seriously powerful Stoic principles. These aren't some dusty, old philosophical theories. They're practical tools you can use every single day to find a little more peace and maybe, just maybe, finally master the art of not giving a damn about the stuff that doesn't deserve your energy. And yeah, it might just be the secret sauce you need to survive and thrive in the 21st century. Ready to get started? Let's do this. But before we plunge in, let's not paint Stoicism as some kind of emotion-numbing exercise. It's not about becoming a robot, devoid of feelings. It's about understanding our emotions, recognizing their power, and then choosing how to respond to them rather than being controlled by them. It's about taking the reins of our inner lives and steering them towards a more peaceful, purposeful destination. That's the real magic of Stoicism, and it's a skill that's more valuable now than ever before. 1. Control what you can, release the rest, the tea spill, and beyond. Okay, picture this. It's a rainy Tuesday morning. You're making a cup of tea, right? Perfectly brewed, just how you like it. And then BM, your cat, the little furry agent of chaos, swats it off the counter. Now, the old you might freak out, blame the cat, curse the universe. But the Stoic you? The Stoic you takes a deep breath and remembers Seneca's words of wisdom. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about that for a second. It's not the spilled tea that's the problem. It's your reaction to it. The truth is, things happen. Teas spill, cats are mischievous, and life throws curveballs like it's auditioning for the MLB. We all have those moments where things go sideways, where Murphy's Law seems to be having a field day at our expense. Maybe you're running late for a crucial meeting and your car decides to develop a flat tire. Or perhaps you've spent hours preparing a presentation, only to have the projector malfunction right as you're about to begin. These situations can be incredibly frustrating, triggering a cascade of negative emotions like anger, anxiety, and resentment. But the one thing you always have control over is how you react. You could choose to get worked up, let your imagination run wild with worst-case scenarios, and ruin your whole day. Or you can laugh it off, brew another cup, and move on. The choice is yours. This principle really boils down to understanding the difference between what's within our sphere of influence and what's not. We have direct control over our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. We can choose to be kind, to be patient, to be responsible, and to strive for excellence in all that we do. But we have very little control over external events, the actions of others, or the unpredictable nature of the world around us. The world's going to keep throwing curveballs at you. Your Wi-Fi will fail at the worst possible moment. Your boss will be a pain in the rear. Traffic will be backed up when you are late. But remember, it's not those external events that truly disturb you. It's how you interpret them. So, take a breath, step back, and ask yourself, Is this something I can control? If not, why am I wasting my energy worrying about it? Let go of what you can't change and focus on what you can, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. In the grand scheme of things, a spilled cup of tea is a minor inconvenience, but it can serve as a powerful reminder of our ability to choose our response to adversity. By consciously choosing to react with calm, resilience, and a sense of humor, we can transform potentially stressful situations into opportunities for growth and self-mastery. I once saw a guy go absolutely ballistic in a coffee shop because they were out of his favorite flavor of muffin, like full-on screaming and demanding a refund. Seriously? Was it a minor inconvenience? Yes. Did he control his emotions? No. That's the beauty of Stoicism. He let a tiny muffin-related crisis completely derail his morning. Now, imagine if he just shrugged it off, picked a different flavor, and moved on with his day. He would have saved himself a lot of stress and embarrassment. See, this Stoic thing actually works in real life. And it's not just about muffins. It's about how you handle everything from minor annoyances to major setbacks. How do you react when your flight is delayed? When you get a bad grade on exam? When you have a disagreement with a friend or family member? Do you let these events control you, or do you choose to respond with wisdom and equanimity? Practicing this principle takes time and effort. It's not something that happens overnight. But with consistent effort, you can train yourself to become more resilient, more adaptable, and more in control of your own emotional well-being. Start by paying attention to your reactions in everyday situations. Notice when you're feeling stressed, frustrated, or angry, and then ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? Focus on what you can do and let go of what you can't. With practice, you'll find that you have more power than you ever thought possible. 2. Embrace the present moment. Seriously, it's all you've got. The Mindfulness Revolution, Stoic Edition. In this day and age, we're constantly bombarded with distractions from the moment we wake up until we fall asleep. Our phones are buzzing, our inboxes are overflowing, and our minds are racing a mile a minute. We're so busy worrying about the future or dwelling on the past that we completely miss what's happening right now. It's like we're living in a perpetual state of anticipation, forever chasing the next thing, the next goal, the next experience, without ever fully appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius, that wise old emperor dude, said it best. Do not let the future disturb you, for you will arrive there if you nurture your present. Preach. This isn't just some feel-good platitude. It's a profound truth that can transform your life. How often do you find yourself replaying past mistakes in your head, agonizing over things you can't change? Or perhaps you're constantly worrying about what might happen in the future, letting anxiety and fear cloud your present moment? We miss so much of our lives when we are consumed by what has happened and what might happen. It's like trying to drive a car while looking only in the rearview mirror or staring intently at the road miles ahead. You're bound to crash if you don't pay attention to what's right in front of you. Think about it. How many times have you been walking in the park, but your mind was stuck on tomorrow's to-do list? How many family dinners have you spent replaying past regrets in your head? How many beautiful sunsets have you missed because you were too busy scrolling through social media? We're so caught up in our thoughts that we forget to actually experience life. The Stoics teach us that this very moment, right now, is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So, why are you wasting it worrying about things you can't control or things that haven't even happened yet? Being present isn't just about paying attention. It's about truly savoring life. It's about feeling the sun on your skin, tasting the flavors of your food, listening intently to your friends, and appreciating the beauty around you. It's about letting go of yesterday's baggage and tomorrow's anxieties and focusing on the here and now. It's about finding joy in the simple things like a warm cup of coffee, a good book, or a heartfelt conversation. This principle is closely related to the concept of mindfulness, which has become increasingly popular in recent years. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It involves focusing on your breath, your senses, and your thoughts without getting carried away by them. By practicing mindfulness, You can train yourself to become more aware of your present moment experiences and less reactive to your thoughts and emotions. This can lead to a greater sense of calm, clarity, and well-being. I remember I was backpacking in Europe once. I was so stressed about missing the next train, finding the right hostel, and sticking to my itinerary that I barely noticed the incredible scenery whizzing by. I was so focused on getting to my destination that I forgot to enjoy the journey. It wasn't until I finally slowed down, took a deep breath, and started paying attention that I really started to appreciate the experience. I noticed the charming cobblestone streets, the lively cafes, and the friendly locals. I tasted the delicious food, smelled the fragrant flowers, and heard the beautiful music. Suddenly, my trip went from stressful to amazing. It's a reminder that being present can literally change your perspective. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of modern life, but it's important to remember that the present moment is all we truly have. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. All we can do is focus on making the most of it right now. So, take a deep breath, put down your phone, and look around. Notice the beauty that surrounds you, and appreciate the simple things in life. You might be surprised at what you discover. 3. Accept change as nature's constant, riding the river of life. Ever notice how effortlessly the seasons change? Winter's frost melts away, giving way to spring's vibrant blooms. The leaves turn brilliant colors in the fall before gracefully falling to the ground. It's a beautiful, natural cycle. Yet when faced with change in our own lives, a job switch, a breakup, a move, we often resist it with every fiber of our being. We cling to the familiar, even when it's no longer serving us, because we fear the unknown. Why is that? Why is it so difficult for us to embrace change when it's such an integral part of life? Epictetus, another Stoic legend, nailed it when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life is in constant flux, as fluid as the River Thames. Fighting against the current is exhausting. Embracing it? That's where freedom lies. Trying to hold on to things as they are, resisting the inevitable flow of change, is like trying to hold back the tide. It's a futile effort that will only leave you feeling frustrated and depleted. Life's nature is evolution. Just as Rome wasn't built in a day, you too are a masterpiece in progress. Every change, every twist and turn, adds a unique brushstroke to your canvas. Instead of fearing change, we should view it as an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-discovery. Think of it like this. If a tree resisted the changing seasons, it would break. Instead, it adapts, sheds its leaves in the fall, and grows new ones in the spring. It understands that change is necessary for survival. We should strive to be like that tree, resilient and adaptable in the face of change. When a storm comes, a flexible tree bends, weathering the force, while a rigid tree is more likely to break. The next time you're faced with an unexpected detour, remember it's all part of the grand design. It might not be easy, but it's an opportunity for growth and learning. See every change, be it wanted or unwanted, as a chance to learn and grow. My own example, I was working in a job that I thought I loved, but then the company got bought out and my entire department got downsized. I was devastated. I felt lost, confused, and angry. I fought it. I complained. I wallowed in self-pity. But eventually, I realized that this change, as painful as it was also an opportunity. It forced me to reevaluate my goals, explore new career paths, and ultimately find something that was a much better fit for me. I ended up starting my own business, something I never would have done if I hadn't lost my job. This unwanted change opened the door to a new chapter in my life, one that has been far more fulfilling than I ever could have imagined. Accepting change doesn't mean passively accepting everything that happens to you. It means acknowledging that change is inevitable and then choosing how to respond to it. You can choose to resist it and suffer the consequences, or you can choose to embrace it and find the opportunities for growth that it presents. It's like learning to surf. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn to ride them. 4. Detach from the thirst for external approval. Your inner compass is all you need. We live in a world where likes, shares, and comments have become the currency of self-worth. We're constantly seeking validation from external sources, basing our happiness on what other people think of us. It's as if we've outsourced our self-esteem to the internet, allowing strangers to dictate how we feel about ourselves. But as Epictetus wisely pointed out, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. In other words, we're letting tiny icons on a screen dictate our mood and self-esteem. How messed up is that? We create imagined realities, the things that might happen or what people might think of us, and that is what we let worry us. Stoicism urges us to find validation from within. Self-worth shouldn't be measured by online clout, but by personal values, actions, and character. It's about knowing who you are, what you stand for, and living in alignment with your own principles. It's about developing a strong inner compass that guides you, regardless of what others may think or say. If what you're doing does not hurt anyone else, and it is something you want to do, then do it. The next time your post doesn't get the traction you expected, or someone slides into your DMs with a snide comment, remember, your worth is not up for public voting. You are your own judge and jury. Don't let the opinions of others define you. Focus on living a life that is true to your values, and the rest will fall into place. This is not to say that feedback is not important, but you need to decide what you value. Don't get me wrong, it's human nature to want to be liked and accepted. We are social creatures, and we crave connection and belonging. But when that desire becomes an obsession, it can be crippling. It can lead to anxiety, insecurity, and a constant need for approval. True freedom comes from detaching from that need and finding contentment within yourself. And that's hard to do. I used to be a total validation junkie. I would obsess over my social media posts, constantly checking for likes and comments. If I didn't get enough attention, I would feel deflated and insecure. I was letting other people's opinions dictate my self-worth. It wasn't until I started practicing Stoicism that I realized how ridiculous this was. I realized that I was giving away my power to strangers on the internet, allowing them to control my emotions. I stopped caring so much about what other people thought and started focusing on my own values and goals. It was incredibly liberating. I started to do things that I enjoyed, regardless of whether or not they were popular. I stopped seeking approval from others and started seeking approval from myself. It was a long and difficult process, but it was worth it. Detaching from the need for external validation is not about becoming a hermit or ignoring the opinions of others altogether. It's about being selective about whose opinions you value and not letting the opinions of strangers or superficial acquaintances dictate your self-worth. Surround yourself with people who support you, encourage you, and challenge you to grow. And remember that the most important opinion is your own. 5. Accept life's inevitable seasons of loss. The art of letting go with grace. Loss is an unavoidable part of life. Whether it's a favorite hoodie, a cherished memory, a friendship that fizzles out, or a loved one, we all experience loss in various forms. It can be incredibly painful, leaving us feeling grief, sadness, and emptiness. But as Marcus Aurelius so eloquently stated, loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. This isn't meant to diminish the pain of loss, but rather to offer a different perspective, to remind us that loss is not an ending, but a transformation. Life is not static. It's a dynamic process of constant change, and loss is an inherent part of that process. In the vast ecosystem of existence, everything has its season. Trees shed leaves only to sprout new ones. Flowers bloom and fade. The sun rises and sets. Similarly, life presents endings and beginnings, each teaching us and shaping us. Rather than clinging to what was, Stoicism invites us to appreciate life's impermanence. It's a call to live fully, love deeply, and let go gracefully, to cherish the moments we have, knowing that they are fleeting, and to accept that everything eventually comes to an end. Every sunset, after all, makes way for a sunrise. Think of it like this. If you hold on too tightly to something, you'll only end up crushing it. Like trying to keep water in your fist, it will eventually slip through your fingers. The key is to appreciate things while they're here, but to also accept that they won't last forever. To love without attachment, to cherish without clinging, and to let go without resentment. That's hard. I experienced a huge loss when my grandmother passed away. She was a huge influence in my life, a source of unconditional love and support. I was devastated. I spent weeks grieving, clinging to her memory, and wishing things could go back to how they were. But eventually, I realized that holding on to that grief was only hurting me. I was preventing myself from moving forward and honoring her memory in a meaningful way. I started to focus on the positive memories I had of her, the lessons she had taught me, and the love she had shared. And I accepted that while she was gone, her spirit would live on in my heart. It didn't make the pain go away completely, but it helped me to cope with the loss and to move forward. It also made me appreciate the time that I had with her and to be grateful for the impact she had on my life. Accepting loss is not about forgetting or diminishing the importance of what we have lost. It's about acknowledging the pain, allowing ourselves to grieve, and then finding a way to move forward with grace and resilience. It's about honoring the memory of those we have lost by living our lives to the fullest and by cherishing the relationships we still have. It's about recognizing that loss is a natural part of life and that it can make us stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. 6. Find growth opportunities in the face of adversity, turning challenges into stepping stones. Who hasn't faced a challenge? Maybe it's that dreadful boss who make your life miserable, the endless pile of bills that never seems to shrink, or the consistently late public transport that throws off your entire schedule. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and disappointments. It's easy to complain and wish life was a bit kinder, to feel like the world is conspiring against you. But Seneca once proclaimed, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This is a core tenet of Stoicism, that adversity is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather something to be embraced as an opportunity for growth. Think of challenges as life's personal gym sessions for your soul. When hurdles appear, instead of asking, "Why me?" ponder, "What's this teaching me?" Every adversity carries a lesson, a potential for growth. It's just a matter of perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, try to see them as stepping stones, as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become a better version of yourself. If Stoics were around today, they'd probably say, "Bring it on." Consider it this way. A muscle grows stronger when it's challenged and stressed. The same is true for your mind and spirit. When you face a difficult situation, you have the opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. You could develop resilience, perseverance, and problem-solving skills. You could discover hidden strengths and talents. It might not feel like it at the time, but looking back, you'll often realize that those challenges were the most important moments in your development. I have social anxiety. For years, I lived with the fear of public speaking, dreading presentations, and avoiding social situations. It was a constant source of stress and anxiety. I let it hold me back from pursuing opportunities and from connecting with others. But instead of letting it control me, I decided to face it head on. I started volunteering to give presentations, joining public speaking groups, and pushing myself to interact with people more often. It was terrifying at first, but with each challenge, I grew more confident and resilient. I learned to manage my anxiety, to control my breathing, and to focus on the message I wanted to convey. Now, while I still wouldn't say that I love public speaking, I can do it without feeling like I'm going to pass out. And I've learned that facing my fears is the best way to overcome them. Finding growth opportunities in the face of adversity is not about seeking out difficult situations. It's about how you respond when they inevitably arise. It's about choosing to see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as reasons to give up. It's about embracing the struggle, learning from your mistakes, and becoming a stronger, more resilient person. It's about developing a growth mindset, believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. 7. Cultivate riches within yourself, the treasure that can never be taken away. In an age of opulent Instagram feeds and the constant show of affluence, it's easy to equate happiness with material gains. We are bombarded with images of luxury cars, designer clothes, and exotic vacations, leading us to believe that these things are the key to happiness. But Seneca remarked, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This is a profound statement that challenges our materialistic values and reminds us that true wealth lies within. We will never be satisfied if we are always wanting more. True wealth isn't about the latest gadgets or designer labels. It's the contentment of the soul, the richness of experiences, and the treasure of memories. It's about having inner peace, a sense of purpose, and meaningful relationships. The Stoics remind us that while it's okay to enjoy life's luxuries, one shouldn't be enslaved by them. We should appreciate the good things in our lives, but we shouldn't let them define us or control us. For in the end, it's the stories we've woven, not the possessions we've accumulated, that truly matter. Think about it. How many times have you bought something new, only to feel a fleeting sense of satisfaction before wanting something else? That's because material possessions can never truly fulfill us. They can provide temporary pleasure, but they cannot provide lasting happiness. True happiness comes from within, from cultivating inner riches like gratitude, compassion, and wisdom. My friend Dave is one of the most interesting persons I know. He does not own much, but he is one of the richest persons I know in terms of experiences. He lives a simple life, focusing on experiences and relationships rather than material possessions. Instead of buying a new car, he bought a used one and used the rest of the money traveling. He went to Thailand, Japan, Africa, and South America all within the same year. He has a wealth of stories to tell, of people he has met, and of cultures he has experienced. He is a truly rich man, not because of what he owns, but because of who he is. Cultivating inner riches is about focusing on what truly matters in life: your values, your relationships, your experiences, and your personal growth. It's about developing gratitude for what you have, rather than constantly craving what you lack. It's about finding joy in the simple things, like spending time with loved ones, pursuing your passions, and making a difference in the world. It's about investing in yourself by learning new skills, reading books, and challenging your beliefs. It's about becoming a better person, a kinder person, a more compassionate person. 8. Surrender to fate, the art of acceptance. Finding peace in the uncontrollable. Okay, let's be clear. I'm not suggesting you blindly accept everything that happens to you. I'm not saying you should just sit back and let life happen to you without taking any action. But as Epictetus pointed out, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen. This is about finding a balance between taking responsibility for your actions and accepting the things that are beyond your control. We must accept things that are. If you do not like it, then change it. If you cannot change it, then accept it. Life, with its myriad complexities, is a blend of our efforts and the universe's designs. We can plan, prepare, and work hard, but we cannot control everything. Sometimes, despite our best moves, the outcome isn't in our favor. Things don't always go according to plan. But instead of being bogged down by what didn't go as planned, Stoicism nudges us to embrace what's on our plate, to accept the reality of the situation and to make the best of it. After all, the most captivating stories often emerge from the most unexpected turns. Think of it this way. You can plan a picnic down to the last detail, but you can't control the weather. You can work hard and prepare for a job interview, but you can't guarantee you'll get the job. You can love someone with all your heart, but you can't force them to love you back. There are always going to be factors outside of your control. The key is to accept that, to do your best, and to let go of the outcome. When I started my side hustle, I had big expectations. I was ready to make millions and travel the world. I envisioned myself as a successful entrepreneur, living a life of freedom and abundance. It did not go as planned, and I was working around the clock and burned myself out. I had to change plans and pivot to a more reasonable business. I had to accept that my initial plan wasn't working and that I needed to adapt and find a new path. It was a humbling experience, but it taught me the importance of surrendering to fate and accepting the things that I cannot control. Surrendering to fate is not about giving up or being passive. It's about recognizing your limitations and focusing your energy on what you can control. It's about accepting the reality of the situation and making the best of it. It's about finding peace in the midst of chaos and trusting that everything will work out in the end. 9. Be of service to others, finding meaning through contribution. We live in a world bursting with opportunities to make a difference. We are constantly bombarded with images of suffering, inequality, and injustice. It's easy to feel overwhelmed and helpless, but we all have the power to make a positive impact on the world, no matter how small. As Seneca reminds us, we are all bound together in a partnership. We are all interconnected, and what we do affects others. Stoicism isn't just about personal enlightenment. It's about community upliftment. It's about recognizing our responsibility to contribute to the well-being of others. By aiding another, we not only enrich their lives, but add meaning to our own. It gives us a sense of purpose and fulfillment that cannot be found in material possessions or external validation. Whether it's helping a neighbor, volunteering, or simply being there for a friend, every act of kindness echoes in the universe. It creates a ripple effect of positivity that can spread far and wide. Remember, it's not just about thriving solo, but elevating others along the journey. Helping people out is contagious. The more you volunteer and help people, the more you want to help them. It's like a virtuous cycle. The more you give, the more you receive. You can always volunteer at the local animal shelter, serving food to the homeless, or tutoring children. But you don't have to do anything grand to make a difference. You can simply offer a listening ear to a friend in need, donate to a charity you believe in, or perform a random act of kindness for a stranger. I've found that being of service to others has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. It has given me a sense of purpose that I never had before, and it has helped me to connect with others on a deeper level. It has also made me more grateful for what I have and more aware of the needs of others. Being of service to others is not about being a martyr or sacrificing your own well-being. It's about finding a balance between taking care of yourself and contributing to the well-being of others. It's about recognizing that we are all in this together and that we have a responsibility to help each other out. 10. Reflect, review, and realign. The power of introspection for a purposeful life. The bustling world doesn't often grant us pauses. We are constantly on the go, juggling multiple tasks and responding to endless demands. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of activity and to lose sight of our goals and values. That's why it's so important to take time for reflection, to pause and examine our lives. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius noted, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Our thoughts shape our emotions, our actions, and our overall well-being. Regular reflection is the mirror to our souls. Taking a moment to introspect helps us identify our patterns, realign our paths, and refresh our perspectives. It allows us to become more aware of our strengths and weaknesses, our values and priorities, and our goals and aspirations. Consider it a regular system update for your life. Just like your computer needs regular updates to function properly, so too does your mind. Ponder upon your actions, learn from missteps, and celebrate small wins. Taking time to learn from your mistakes will help you to avoid them in the future. For in understanding oneself, we pave the path to true contentment and peace. This is the main thing to do for self-improvement. It is the best thing to do to level up your thinking so that you can be the best version of yourself. It allows you to identify areas where you can improve, to set new goals, and to develop a plan of action. Make sure you do this often to maximize your chances of self-improvement. I try to take time for reflection every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. I find that it helps me to stay grounded, to focus on what's important, and to make better decisions. I also try to schedule a longer period of reflection at least once a month, where I can review my progress, evaluate my goals, and make any necessary adjustments. Reflecting, reviewing, and realigning is not about being self-critical or dwelling on your failures. It's about being honest with yourself, learning from your mistakes, and striving to become a better person. It's about taking responsibility for your life and making conscious choices that are aligned with your values and goals. The Stoic Toolkit, a summary of key takeaways. So what does it all mean? After diving into these 10 principles, what's the big picture? Here's a quick recap. Control what you can. Release the rest. Focus your energy on your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Don't waste time worrying about things you can't control. Embrace the present moment. Savor the now. Let go of regrets about the past and anxieties about the future. Accept change as nature's constant. Don't resist change. Embrace it as an opportunity for growth. Detach from external validation. Find your worth within yourself, not in the opinions of others. Accept life's inevitable seasons of loss. Acknowledge the pain, grieve if needed, and move forward with grace. Find growth opportunities in the face of adversity. See challenges as opportunities to learn and become stronger. Cultivate riches within yourself. Focus on gratitude, compassion, wisdom, and meaningful relationships. Surrender to fate, the art of acceptance. Do your best and let go of the outcome. Be of service to others. Find meaning and purpose through contribution. Reflect, review, and realign. Take time to introspect, learn from your mistakes, and adjust your course as needed. These 10 principles aren't about being emotionless or aloof. They're about fostering resilience, embracing the present, and leading a life of purpose and depth. They're about finding a way to navigate the chaos of modern life with a little more calm, a little more clarity, and a whole lot less stress. They offer a path to inner peace, resilience, and a more meaningful life. By practicing these principles, you can transform your relationship with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. All right, friends, we've reached the end of our journey through the wisdom of Stoicism. And seriously, I'm blown away by how relevant these ancient ideas are to our lives today. It just goes to show that some truths really are timeless, right? Remember these 10 tools for when things get tough. Now, I've got a question for you. Which of these Stoic principles resonated with you the most? Which one made you go, aha, I need to work on that? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. So, jump into the comments below and share your biggest takeaway. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other. And hey, before you go off and start living your best Stoic life, I've got a small favor to ask. If you found this helpful, inspiring, or even just mildly entertaining, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give this a thumbs up and ring that notification bell. It's not about chasing vanity metrics. It's about building a community of people who are committed to personal growth and living a more meaningful life. Life is a wild ride, full of challenges and surprises. But with the right mindset and a dash of Stoic wisdom, it can be a truly amazing adventure. So, here's to mastering the art of letting go and living with intention and gusto. Until next time, keep the fire of curiosity burning and the spirit of Stoicism alive. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start practicing these principles today, and you'll be well on your way to living a more stoic, more meaningful, and more fulfilling life. Cheerio!